Do you know the best day to move house? Have you ever wondered what housewarming parties were like in previous centuries? In this video, I'll be looking at some of the customs and beliefs surrounding new homes found in Irish folklore. So let's take a little dúchas dive. Díobh Greenúsla agus fáilte. Hello and welcome. It's Misha Amy the Crafty Kylock, and I make videos and content about Irish history, folklore, food and magic. This is my first video in a while, so fáilte, welcome. Welcome back to all my subscribers, new and old. And if you like learning about Irish history and you haven't subscribed yet, just hit the subscribe button down below so you can be notified about new videos. A huge thank you to Alex with an I, who commented on my Irish wedding customs video requesting folklore for a new home. That comment was 5 months ago, so I do hope you closed on that house, and thank you very much for requesting the video. In Ireland, we're very much tied to our place, and the land and people have this very special relationship. And this very much comes through in the folklore about homes, new homes, building homes, vernacular architecture, and a lot of other stuff. Most of the folklore and beliefs around new homes would be linked to marriage, because generally when you got married, you moved into a new home, and that tended to be the main catalyst for moving into a new home or building a new home, but not always. So we do have a lot more than marriage customs linked to new home folklore. In my Irish wedding customs video, I did talk a little bit more about the customs surrounding typically the bride going into a new home. So if you want to check out that video, I will leave a link in the description below so you can add that to your watch list. Just to briefly mention a couple of the traditions, you probably have heard of being carried over the threshold, or the bride being carried over the threshold. And also in that video, I did mention that the mother-in-law, typically the groom's mother, would break wedding cake over the bride's head as she entered the new home. But another custom that I found, which was noted in County Roscommon in the Dúchas Schools Collection Archive, was that when a couple moved into a house, if there was any articles of clothing, any houseware, anything at all left in the house from the previous occupants, those bits and pieces were to remain in the house for good luck. Taking them away would have taken the luck out with them. In terms of finding the best day or the luckiest day to move house, again, like most folk traditions, you're going to have regional variation here. So in County Leitrim, it was recorded that Sunday was a good day for moving, with the phrase "Sunday's flitting, many a long day sitting." Flitting meant to move house. And then Saturday was supposed to be a very unlucky day for moving, either house or from one place to another. People said that Saturday's flit, short sit, as in you wouldn't be there for long. So if you moved on a Saturday in Leitrim, it was believed that you would move on shortly after, either by passing away or by moving on to a different place. In County Tipperary, Friday was seen as a very, very lucky day to start any new endeavour, like moving house, starting to build a house, ploughing or sowing new crop, while Sunday was actually noted in Tipperary as an unlucky day to do any of these things. But then in County Sligo, Friday was said to be an unlucky day, and that you would have a short sit after flitting on a Friday. Then in County Meath, there is a record of May Day, the 1st of May, being a very lucky day and a good day for people to move. In particular, tenants would flit on May Day. It's noted that they were afraid to move any other day in case it was bad luck. Now, this might be linked with the time of paying rent, where rent would have been typically paid on a 6-month or yearly basis by tenants to landlords. But I'd have to look into that a little bit more to see if that might have influenced things. If you were moving from one house to another, there were a couple of different practices that would have been done or not done depending on the region. In County Donegal, Dúchas records show that there was a belief that bringing certain things onto your new house would be bad luck. For instance, in one particular archive reference that I found, it was really bad luck to bring a cradle, like a baby's crib, into the new house from the old house. Visitors to a new home would also bring gifts. If they didn't have anything of value, they would bring some turf. To be honest, if someone came over to my house with a housewarming present of a bag of turf, now that we're not allowed to buy it, I would be very happy. A reference from County Cork says that it was unlucky to bring your cat with you when you moved to a new house, which I don't care if it's bad luck, I'm not leaving my cat behind me. There is also various references to finding a black cat at your new home to be a very lucky thing, even though traditionally we're told that black cats are bad luck. In Irish folklore, I found so many different references to black cats being good luck. If you would like a video on Irish cat folklore, please let me know, because I would love to do that. It wasn't only bringing cats from house to house that was considered unlucky. Any animal, really, it was considered unlucky to bring from household to the new house. So in County Galway, there's a reference to not taking cats, dogs, or pigs with you when you moved house. As I've said already, as I said, visitors into a new house would bring gifts with them typically, and that's still continued today, where there are housewarming gifts and housewarming parties. In County Cavan, there's a record that says people going over to a new house on a Friday would bring furniture with them for good luck. And neighbours wouldn't have only come over to visit or say hello or bring luck into the house. They would have been very much part of the building process as well. So in the spirit of Mehel, which you might remember me mention in the Lunasa video that I did, Mehel means working party. So it's when community members would come together to get a specific job done, be it cutting crops or building a house. I'll come back to visitors and neighbours coming over for housewarming parties in a second, but I just want to first talk about the importance of building a house, choosing a site to build a house on, and how all that was done. So in his article on Hearth and Home, the vernacular house in Ireland, Barry O'Reilly discusses the many different aspects and ways in which folklore influenced the building of homes in Ireland. According to O'Reilly, the immense volume of folklore and folk belief that pertains to the vernacular home suggests that it was regarded as an interface between the human world and the supernatural world, and that its portals, so the doors, the windows, the chimney, were liminal zones or liminal spaces and points of contact between our world and the other world. Which makes sense when you look at a lot of the folklore surrounding hearth magic, hearth customs, and also some of the customs around how houses were built and what was buried under thresholds and put up on windowsills. Everything was regarded as important, and in vernacular architecture as well, a lot of the materials would have been sustainable and would have been locally sourced materials. It was considered very, very, very bad luck, like very bad luck, to take any stones from sacred sites, from killeens, which are a specific type of burial ground, which I will do a video on in the future specifically, and also cairns or listana, otherwise known as fairy forts. So there was various different methods that were used to find out if a site that you wanted to build your house on was a good site. This was also done to avoid the wrath of the good folk. And by wrath, I mean rage, and not wrath as in another word for a fairy fort. Homophones are fun. So to avoid the wrath of the good folk, lest you accidentally build your house on one of their invisible to the mundane human eye path, or on a site which may have contained a fairy fort or a wrath that was underground, having been buried by the ages, a couple of different practices were done. So these methods included tossing a coin, which typically was a florin, which would have a cross on one side, and then if the coin landed cross up, it was okay to build the house. If it didn't land cross up, it wasn't okay to build a house on that site. People also placed piles of stones or sticks in the four corners of the proposed building site for the foundations of the house, and then left them overnight. If they checked back in the morning and they had been disturbed, they would repeat the practice for a further 2 nights, so 3 nights in total. And if it was disturbed on each of the 3 nights, they wouldn't build there. In building the houses, there was sympathetic magic that was used as well. So objects were buried under the threshold, and typically these were some kind of animal sacrifice. Either they were a specific sacrifice for the purpose of this, or, for example, the skull of the most recent cow to die since the home was built would be buried under the threshold. The practice of foundational sacrifice like this is ancient and also worldwide, so it's not specific to Ireland. With the skull being under the threshold and under the floor, effectively, it created a soundbox effect which added resonance whenever people would be over dancing and having a ceilidh. So when people would come over for a housewarming party, they would typically have a ceilidh or a dancing session and music to warm the house, but also in dancing on the floor, and often in vernacular architecture in Ireland it would have been a dirt floor. They would also have the added benefit of flattening out the floor by dancing on it. There was also a more recent practice of putting a coin with the date of the year of building on it into the foundation or placed on the wall to mark when the building was made. This is actually something that Dylan's granddad did, where he has a coin on the wall that he put there when they bought the place and then renovated it. Another custom that you've probably heard of is the use of horse or donkey shoes, which are made of iron, to protect the house. These would have been placed over the chimney, at the front and back doors, and also at the windows to help protect evil in those portal liminal spaces. And finally, the concept of housewarming was very much seen with the bringing of familial coals from the family home to the new home. So they would bring hot coals from the fire or hearth in the old house to the new house to continue on the family flame, thus warming the house. I do talk a lot more about the folklore and magic of house, home and hearth in my hearth magic class that I did over at the Irish Pagan School. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description below. Sinead, that is it for this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and if you did like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that you can tell YouTube that you liked it too. If you liked this video, you might find this one on weather lore also really interesting. I know I did when I was researching it. Thank you very much for watching. Slán go fóill. See you soon.